a heck of a game last time
Yeah.
against the 49ers in his debut only days after being signed. However, that was without both Chase Edmonds and David Johnson in the lineup. So I don't think you're going to see the same type of performance. Right now, the San Francisco 49ers favored by 10 points despite all their injuries at home.
Despite.
Yeah, I mean, Christian Kirk, Larry Fitzgerald, guys who are, really trying to keep this Arizona
Max
team
Williams, underrated
afloat.
tight end pickup.
You think so?
He just got signed to an extension today. That shows me they have faith. And Kyler's been using it more and more each week.
Yeah, I forgot to bring up O.J. Howard back in our Buccaneers matchup. But,
He won't get any targets now just because you mentioned his name. Bruce Arians doesn't like that.
I don't think this line is safe, guys. I think after what we saw, I know Russell Wilson is a completely different quarterback than Kyler Murray. Don't get me wrong. Kyler's got a long way to go till he gets to that level. But if you're telling me that they're going to be missing Kittle and Sanders again, if Deebo Samuel doesn't put up the same type of performance that he did last week, this is going to be an ugly game for the Niners. And I think the Cardinals have what it takes to keep it close. Their weaknesses are against the tight end and against the running game. And if you're telling me that Kittle's not playing and you've got some banged up running backs for the Niners, I like this matchup. I think Garoppolo gets shook when defenders are at his feet, and that's exactly where Chandler Jones is going to be all day.
He sizzle, baby. But I'm sorry. The only reason San Fran won last time against Arizona, Cliff Kingsbury took a very untimely timeout before half. San Fran got a touchdown out of it. And take away a touchdown, Arizona wins. I'm taking Arizona here. Their offense is clicking more and more each week. And Christian Kirk is looking like a big play receiver all the time. Don't you dare. I have been riding with the Cardinals for a while now on these games. Anyways, Arizona, I'm going to take them 28-21 by a touchdown.
Ooh.
Christian Kirk, 2 touchdowns. I think Richard Sherman gets beat on that double move speed.
Sherman gets burned.
This is the upset of the week. Cardinals 28-24. They barely beat the Cardinals the first time, like Dave said. This is the team division opponent again.
Yeah.
And they barely beat them the first time. I think this time they got the right recipe and they get her done. But I still think Garoppolo has a good game, especially because he's my fantasy quarterback this week.
Also, too, added weapon for a banged-up running back, San Fran room. Defense for Arizona has Zach Brown now.
Ooh, interesting. Boy, talk about linebackers that between our boy Hicks and Zach Brown now that's becoming Philly West out there.
Ooh.
Boy, I wish I was as brave as you guys. The 49ers just play way too well at home this season. They don't give up a lot of points at home. I know what happened against Russell Wilson and all that, but that was a freak game. I'm going to stick to the safe side. I'm going to take the 49ers, but I do think it's going to be very close. Another thing I want to throw in here, Robbie Gould may not play again, and we saw how that played out for the Niners last week. So hopefully it doesn't come down to an overtime kick.
Yeah, that was Mike.
Laces out, right Fickle.
All right, moving on to a game that I was hoping to avoid. The New England Patriots come to town to take on my Philadelphia Eagles. Speaking of short-handed, Eagles are going to be without Alshon Jeffrey, Darren Sproles, and linebacker Nigel Bradham. And somehow, some way, running back Jordan Howard is questionable coming into this matchup, which, along with the Darren Sproles news, explains why Philadelphia has re-signed Super Bowl hero Jay Ajayi after being bounced around the league with workouts and
still surprised it took him that long.
Yeah, visiting the Texans, visiting the Lions. Jay Ajayi finally finds a home right back here in Philadelphia. Guys, we know about the weaponry. We know about the dominance of the Patriots defensively. How do you feel about this one?
Okay. I'm going to call it right now. Old Dougie had Bill's number in the Super Bowl. Not just Super Bowl. I think he's that one coach. He's come along. He's going to have that one coach. I think Philly's at home. New England, I'm looking at their injury report right now. They got a ton of questionables, like all the way down, and a lot of them's on defense. Free safeties, trunks. You got Patrick Chung who's on questionable. That is a 50-50 game time. That right there is a biggie because we know Carson can sling it. And who runs the seam down there with Chung? Goddard and Ertz.
Goddard and Ertz need to have a huge game. It's got to be all tight ends all day long.
I'm going to paint you a picture here. Carson Wentz on the 45-yard line, about 30 seconds to go, finally gets that final drive of the season that he needs, and gets 4 plays in a row. It's on New England 11-yard line. Zach Ertz, corner pylon, touchdown, 1 second left for New England. Try and win the game. Nothing.
I love it.
Philly takes it 28-27 at home.
Filled me up for a letdown, but I certainly love to picture it.
You sounded the same way when Green Bay was facing Philly. And look, this is my example. It's not just being silly. Philly plays well with their backs up against the wall. It's stupid how well they play with really good teams. But then you go watch the Lions game, and I'm like, that's not the same team that played Green Bay. What the hell is that?
Exactly.
Philly plays well when their season's on the line. And right now they got to keep up with Dallas. Dallas has an easy Detroit game. It would not surprise me in the least to see Philly show their dominance a little bit and take out the big ugly.
Jay, what are we thinking here? I know you're tired of this Patriots narrative.
No, I got the Eagles 23-20. I think the Eagles got a good defense, and the strength of their defense isn't the edge rushers, it's the interior rushers. That's where Tom Brady has the roughest time. That's why they did so well at the end when it mattered. It was an interior rush that stopped and made him fumble to cost him that game. I just don't think that their offense is as prolific this year as it was in that Super Bowl year a couple years ago, and they met in the Super Bowl. And I think they're more of a defense-prominent team. Carson Wentz has got, in that offense, has never had anybody stay healthy long enough for him to have a connection outside of Zach Ertz. And that's why I think they brought back Ajayi so that they can take some pressure off of him, definitely. So, and I think that therefore they get back to controlling the clock and, pounding the rock and then being able to play defense and just, giving Brady fits. And I'm not saying just blow it. I think they kick a couple field goals, but they win 23-20. Good game to watch, by the way, if you appreciate it.
I was waiting for the FU sign in Italian by Jay, too.
The active wide receivers for Philadelphia going into this game include Nelson Aguilar, Jordan Matthews, freshly signed, Mac Hollins, and rookie wide receiver J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. I wish I had more confidence.
What's the line on that? The Patriots by 15?
4.
Yes, currently at 4, surprisingly enough.
That's because they know the Eagles can win this game. It's not. I don't think this is a season where you can really look at the Patriots every week. Outside of the people that wanted to crown this the historically best defense in the world after their soft-ass schedule playing only first- and second-year quarterbacks, then they got punched in the mouth by somebody that had a complete team, and everybody still is like, but they're still so good. No, they're just a good scheme. And they're not, they're not, we're not like 85 Bears, people forget, I think had 3+ shutouts. Where in those shutouts, they scored 14 or 21 points defensively. That's historically great. Stop with this shit. We throw that around way too much. So the Patriots are a beatable team this year. You just got to be sound. And I think this just ends up being a sloppy game. That's why I got it such a close score, lower scoring.
Well, I do like the fact...
A little bit of breaking news right here. I know it's college, but... Oklahoma just came back, folks, to pick off the Baylor Bears at 29 seconds left and was down 31-10 at halftime.
Okay,
They
but
came back,
Oklahoma shouldn't be losing to Baylor anyway. That's freaking pathetic.
but it's still the fact they dropped 24 points in one half to try and come back. Still impressive.
My stream froze. I'm so upset.
Jalen Hurts.
Damn my Fire Stick.
But yeah, that's actually a really good point that you brought up, Jay, about interior pressure, because that's what you need to do against Brady. You need your defensive tackles to get right in his face.
Jernigan's healthy, right?
Yes.
He's underrated interior pass rusher. I love him.
He is. You're right. If him and Cox can get after it, get in Brady's face, make Brady throw it away and scramble to the outside, and Brady is not a scrambler by any means. So, yeah, that's the one hope we have is defensive pressure and really scheming our tight ends open. Otherwise, it's going to be a long day. I've got the Patriots and their wide receivers. I mean, we know the Eagles struggles with the pass. They rank near the bottom in points given up to the wide receiver position. So I do think, Edelman, Mohamed Sanu, and Philip Dorsett, they're going to be just fine. They'll have a good day. Even James White is actually my sneakier play of the week. I think he's going to have himself a nice game. Sorry for all you Sony Michel owners out there. You can leave him on the bench again this week, but I'm taking Patriots 24-14, and it pains me as an Eagles fan to say that. Moving on to a game that no one can wait for. The anticipation is killing people. Ryan Finley and the Cincinnati Bengals traveling out to Oakland to take on the Silver and Black.
Do we really need to choose this game? I mean, come on.
Listen, it's on the slate. I'm sorry. I got to respect the game. A.J. Green going to miss another one. Dre Kirkpatrick, cornerback for the Bengals, also out. Geno Atkins is actually questionable with an ankle injury. For the Oakland Raiders, Trent Brown, tackle, is questionable with a knee injury, and LaMarcus Joyner is going to be out. So that's actually kind of a biggie. No upset alert here for me, folks. I definitely have the Raiders winning this game, and in fact, in my leagues where I needed a stream of defense, I happily picked up the Oakland Raiders after their performance against Phillip Rivers last week. I am looking forward to it. Silver and Black win this one. I've got Derek Carr and the boys taking it 17-9.
What?
That's right.
17?
Raiders favored by 11.5.
I have 12.5 on Bleacher Report.
Okay, I've got.
I am just letting you guys know.
I'm going PreGame.com, and they usually do it like a live thing.
Well, I'm going with Oakland. I think it's 30-7. I think Finley gets his one touchdown. Woo! And throws it to, I don't know, Eifert, and then he gets injured probably after because that's what usually happens. I think Derek Carr has 2 touchdowns. I think Josh Jacobs has a touchdown or 2. Yeah, I think Oakland wins this handily.
Wow, that's funny because I am taking a point away from the Bungles, and I'm going to give it to the Raiders for a 31-6 score.
Guys, are the Bengals going to finish winless?
Yes, I believe so.
0-16, second,
and I think they're going to try hard not to, and I just think they're just that damn bad. I think the fact that they were that bad, 0-8, and they had assets that could have set them up to be able to do a one-year turnaround, and they chose not to, those assets are not going to be as hot in the offseason because you're not in win-now mode in the offseason. You're trying to hang on and prepare. You get players that are being called for during that trade deadline period, that's when the price is highest. So the fact that they didn't unload Geno Atkins, unload A.J. Green, Lawson, those guys that clearly are not going to be, around long enough for the rebuild, and get a bunch of crap and thinking they're going to get just as much in the offseason, it just shows how bad the Bengals really are run. They're terrible all around. They are terrible. Absolutely terrible.
I don't know if it's simply coaching or what. I mean, I know Marvin Lewis was a defensive guru